Hi friends, welcome back. So I want to read a comment coming in from the community just yesterday, and I want to talk about how sometimes people can be rational in some situations and completely irrational in others, and sort of what I want to get you to be is rational all the time. This is John Wilson. He says just yesterday, you keep saying Trump is crazy. Can you share your observations about Trump that led you to that conclusion? Trump has been successful businessman, right? That's what this person says. Written a few books himself. I haven't seen any Northern Towers anywhere. You should defend your opinions rather than say something that has no meaning. Your analysis on Tesla seems to be reasonable, which is why I watch your channel. And if you sort of dig into this, it basically says, Chris, I think you're really smart when you talk about Musk and Tesla, but when it comes to politics and Trump, oh my God, you're such an idiot. And I see this comment quite a lot, and it makes me realize that, again, some people can be completely irrational when it comes to politics, religion, relationships, these kind of things. And it's sad, really. This is essentially your average person / average viewer. This was my response yesterday. You can read it for yourself and also talk a little bit more about it. I responded, this is just yesterday, to answer directly, Musk and Trump were born rich. That matters greatly. We all went to the same school, University of Pennsylvania. I know these kinds of people. Chances are from your comments, you have not been exposed to them. The average person has not, right? And I'm not being mean, it's just the reality. The average person doesn't go to Penn. The average person has no experience with the ultra wealthy. It's a numbers game. A few people go to these places or have any exposure regarding Trump in the book. He did not write his own books. We even know the names of the ghostwriters. Trump has multiple marriages and bankruptcies. If facts matter to you, feel free to look up any of these things. Google is your friend. And also, too, I referred the person to a video I made recently, just a month ago. I called it The Secret to My Success, where I talk about exposure to billionaires. Also, too, I give the title of my book called Positive Angle. And I apologize, guys. I wasn't born rich. I'm sorry for that. I can't control these kind of things. This is stuff I read about in my book. If you don't know, I lost my family at the end of the Vietnam War. I was born at the very end. And if you're born Vietnamese during that time, it's just really tough. I can't control where I was born, and I can't choose my parents. I apologize for that. The thing is, though, which I find crazy about this whole situation, be it your Musk or your Trump, Trump was born rich. Musk was born rich. I don't know what to say, right? And it's strange because I'll give you an example. Let's say you're born in the UK and you're not part of the royal family. You're not going to be king. It's just reality. You're not going to be king. You're not going to be queen. Will I make fun of you or criticize you because you didn't, win the lottery with your parents, being a royal family? I don't, and also too, I don't celebrate the royal family. So that's just my opinion on these things. And it's weird though. People get really irrational about this kind of stuff. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't born rich, but I think I've done rather well for myself. And regarding the whole Northern Tower thing, you may not know, I worked in luxury hotel design in China. I actually write about this stuff in my book. I don't put a bunch of names on my towers or stuff like that. I'm not into that. I'm not into putting names on planes and that kind of thing. Some people are. Some people are into flashing their wealth and putting their name on everything. I'll give you a simple example. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. Do they put their name on towers everywhere? Do they? It's a simple question. No, they don't. Not everybody does, okay? Some people have money and they just don't want to put their name everywhere. Some people do, like a Mr. Trump, and some people fall for that kind of stuff and like it, and that's your prerogative. But I just find this whole thing to be, unfortunately, based on irrationality. So, guys, if you like my opinion on Musk and business and stocks, why not like my opinion on politics? I'm the same person either way. I find myself to be pretty rational, and I'll show you some examples why I consider myself rational. Guys, I'll show you this. I mentioned it before in a prior video, but I want to show it again. This is the top 10 presidents when it comes to the stock market performance. And I want to talk a little about the election because it's unavoidable at this state. We have some news coming out. But I want to go over this stuff first because people kind of live in their own fantasy land. And I find that odd. I live in the world of facts as much as I can. And I want you to live in as well. So first I will say to say that any one president can affect everything in the world and everything in every country and the whole entire stock market is a bit naive. I say don't give them too much credit and don't give them enough credit. like you can't just not everything is due to one person. I will just put it that way. It's a market made of all kinds of people and stuff like that. But with that said, I do look at numbers. So you can see here, this is Ronald Reagan. This is number 10 in terms of stock market performance. He was president between 81 to 89. Market performance was 10.2% a year. I have it right here. Number 9 was Gerald Ford. He was president from 74 to 77. Market performance, 10.8% per year. After that, you had Dwight D. Eisenhower, 53 to 61. He was president. Market performance, 10.9% per year. Again, and this is from Kiplinger, so they compile these numbers. I think is really useful, and it's fun to talk about this stuff. I'm fine talking about it. It's all rational. I can see the numbers right in front of me. George H.W. Bush, and someone wrote in the comments that's Herbert Walker, because I forgot. And why does someone have two middle names? Who knows? You guys can let me know on that one. But he was president from 89 to 93. Market performance, 11% per year. After the first Bush, we have Joe Biden. From 21 January, or from year 21 to now, market performance 11.1% per year. Also, too, we have William McKinley from 1897, a long time ago, to 1901. Market performance 11.3% per year. Again, these are the top performing presidents in terms of stock market. Barack Obama, then you had him from 2009 to 2017. Market performance 12.8% per year. After that, you have Mr. Trump. President Trump, so he was president from 2017 to 2021. Market performance, 13.6% per year. And then after that, you had Bill Clinton from 93 to 2001. Market performance, 15% per year. And then coming in at number 1 was Calvin Coolidge back in 1923 to 29. This is right before the essentially the Roaring '20s went into the Great Depression of the '30s. Market performance, 26.1% per year. Also, too, this is in the modern era. The S&P 500 performance by party under Democratic presidents, return is 12.9%. Under Republican presidents, annual return is 9.9%. This is dated back from 1957, so in the modern era. And you guys can just look at these numbers for yourself, and you can rewind the video if you don't believe in these things. But I'm just showing you guys numbers. Also, too, when it comes to the politics stuff, guys, you're free to vote for whoever you like. But I'm free to have whatever opinion I like. However, I try to stick to rationality, things and stuff like that. At the moment, it's actually kind of interesting. There's been a lot of talk that Trump wants to have more control over the Fed, which would indeed affect the stock market. I wouldn't dispute that. I haven't mentioned this stuff in the past. It's been over the news. This was the first time. This is back in May, so just a few months ago. I don't mention politics all the time, but we're getting closer to election. It's hard to avoid. Essentially, one of the things that Trump was when he was in office, he just kept bragging about stock market returns and stuff like that, and how awesome he was in that. But I just want you guys to understand this market isn't necessarily the economy, and also too, if you really want, say for example, stock market awesome all the time, or you want certain sectors awesome all the time, you can do that, and you can try to pass policies in that direction, but don't necessarily think that means good things. So a simple example would be like, let's say Trump tells the Fed, hey guys, we need the stock market to do awesome, so please, cut interest rates to zero all day, every day, and let's lend money to everybody so we can all, go leverage into stocks. Yes, that would probably be good for crypto and probably good for the markets, but it's not really sustainable. And it's funny because, I think I said pretty rational statements there. Some people, again, once you talk about this stuff, they can't have an intelligent conversation about it. But I try to have these things with you because I know there is an audience out there. Hopefully, I say hopefully because this is reality. Most of YouTube is dumb, and I say that all the time. But it is frustrating when you try to put out intelligent content. But it is what it is. But yes, there has been talk that I guess Trump this was leaked in the press a couple months ago that him and his advisors are trying to figure out ways to exert more control over the Fed. The Fed should stay independent, in my opinion, but I am well aware that the Fed is affected by politics. Why are we talking about the Trump situation? This just came out today, July 8th. A headline: Trump's increasing election odds after debate already affecting financial markets. So people are already starting to think, okay, what's going to happen if Trump wins, etc. I read you a few predictions by people at various places yesterday. We'll take a look at a couple more because it's good to get different opinions on this stuff. So at the moment, this says here, Hartnett also noted the odds of Trump-led Republican sweep in both the White House and both chambers of Congress have swelled to 36%. So you're getting a little bit higher chance of Republicans taking over both the Congress and the White House. Also, too, this is coming from Bank of America. That's the Hartnett person says here. Winners were rates volatility, bets that the yield curve steepens. Okay, so we're talking about recession, higher chances, the key signal for that. Banks and technology, I think that they're saying that may benefit. Losers have been featured long dated bonds, home builders, and renewable energy stocks and emerging market currencies. The ones that stick out to me when I was just looking at this, I thought was interesting was the renewable energy stocks. I would agree with that. I think any sort of tax credits for that kind of stuff will go away. Any sort of the infrastructure stuff will probably go away. That's the stuff that Biden was trying to push. I would agree with the banks thing. I think the winners, would be banks because Trump would be all about deregulation of the banks, those kind of stuff. That was sort of their party. Technology, I guess the reason why you would make this case, because there's a couple ways. So one, we could say maybe Trump would try to pressure the Fed into lower interest rates. So I guess that would help tech. The other thing too would be Trump would probably help help pro-monopoly stuff, meaning again deregulations. Under Biden with the FTC and Lina Khan, and I'm a big fan of Lina Khan. She'd say, hey, Google, you have a monopoly, or hey, Apple, you have a monopoly, etc. That would be something that they go after. But the Trump people would say, no, we want to be pro-business, let monopolies run wild, that kind of stuff. You guys can already get my sense of these things, and you guys, you can have an opinion on that as well. If you want Google to control everything, or Apple to control everything, or whatever big company, that is your prerogative. But I just want to understand what we're talking about when we say friendly to business. That's sort of the things that we mean. Moreover, talking about this kind of things, Biden says, hey, I'm not leaving the election. This came out July 8th, 2024, sort of why we're talking about this today. And he actually wrote a letter. If you want to read the whole letter, you can. I'll just read a few parts of it. But he's essentially saying he's going to stay. He says, fellow Democrats, coming on July 8th, 2024, now that you have returned from July 4th recess, I want you to know that despite all the speculation in the press and elsewhere, I'm firmly committed to staying in this race, to running this race to the end and beating Donald Trump. This is the last paragraph. The question of how to move forward has been well aired for over a week now, and it's time for it to end. We have one job, and it's to beat Donald Trump. We have 42 days to the Democratic Convention, 119 days to general election. Any weakening the resolve or lack of clarity about the task only helps Trump and hurts us. It is time to come together, move forward, and unified party and defeat Trump. So, my personal opinion on this stuff is I think it'll probably be a close race. You never know what can happen. I will say though, after the debate performance, it looked pretty bad for Biden. I'll just be honest with you, it looked pretty bad. And I was like, oh my God. I already thought he was too old, but then just sort of reinforced that. In the same way I say I already thought Trump was too crazy, and watching the debate already reinforced that. So my personal opinion is that I wish we would find two new candidates, not just one, but two new ones. I don't think Trump's going to drop out, and Biden's signaling he doesn't want to drop out. The polls at the moment, though, and it depends which ones you look at, Trump, and this is the real clear politics, Trump's at 55, Biden at 18, Harris at 12. So I guess what they were doing over the last week or so was floating around Harris's name. That'd be the vice president. Maybe the poll numbers didn't come out so great, and so okay, fine, we're going to stick with Biden. What else can we do? And then this is sort of where we're at today. So Donald Trump's chance of winning the election suddenly slide. That's on July 8th. Again, it depends what you're looking at, and also too, we're not looking at landslide either way at the moment. There was a poll that came out before. That one was saying 49% Trump, 43% Biden. That was like 6 days ago. Then this is a more recent one. And now we're saying that Trump wins 50 out of 100 times. Biden wins 49 out of 100 times. So it's still fairly tight. However, you do want to look at the swing states, right? So when you ask a national poll, it's not necessarily the same as individual states, because as you guys know, we have the Electoral College, so the system is not based on necessarily popular vote. This is coming out it's from Bloomberg, and they're saying here Trump's had his advantage in the swing states, 47, 40, 45, and according to this, again, these polls, they can change any number of things, right? I think definitely the debates hurt Biden, but you have Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. So it looks like Trump is leading in Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. So these would be the swing states. So he's got an advantage there. And then Biden's ahead in Michigan and Wisconsin. So Probably the big states, right? You're going to be fighting over then are these ones here, and that's going to decide the election. Also, too, this is actually an interesting one. Is according to this, I guess Biden is spending quite a bit of money, or at least you could say the Democrats are spending more money than Republicans on this year. Campaigns and allied super PACs spending over the last 30 days. And you can see right here. So it's Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And it looks like there is a fight in terms of the airwaves in Georgia and then in Pennsylvania. But then the other one, Democrats are outspending Republicans. Now, you could certainly make the case, though, which I think is a reasonable case, that the Republicans are just not spending now, but they're certainly going to ramp up the spending, come September, October, etc. I know, guys. I really know. I know that by the time we hit the election, we'll all have election fatigue by then. I know. I get it. I'm already having fatigue now, but we do have to mention it. I mean, I can't ignore it. And my personal opinion on this stuff is, guys, I'm fine talking about any one of these topics. This stuff is the same as talking about the markets to me. I just look at what's in front of me. I look at what I have to deal with. And also, I'm realistic about these things. My point of view on this stuff, no matter who is president, I'm still going to keep my same old game plan. I'm going to take care of myself, take care of my family. I'm going to try my best to educate you. I want you to do the same. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. You can't control, you can vote, and you should, but you can't control everything that happens in the world. Life will go on, right? Regardless of who is president, life will go on. You'll still wake up in the morning, you'll still eat breakfast, etc. And that's why I wanted to show you, different performances of whatever party. Markets will still go on, etc. But it is real, though, that you do want to, understand kind of what can happen. Like I said, I think that these, and you don't know, and you also too don't know if anything will ever pass, right? So maybe a new person becomes president, but they, can't get anything through Congress, and then you have gridlock, right? And nothing changes. Markets tend to like that kind of stuff when nothing changes. Then they can at least predict, what's going to happen in the future. But if Trump's agenda and he comes into power, I would say deregulations, tax cuts, maybe higher tariffs, these kind of things. And again, I'm all talking irrational stuff. When you start to get in the irrational things, I don't want to have those conversations. I just think it's silly. But that's what your average voter talks about, right? They'll just like, oh, I love Trump because look at his ties. His ties are so awesome. That kind of stuff. It's like, okay, great. Now we're arguing about whose tie is better. And I use the example of tie, as a placeholder for the real issues that people talk about. But talking about the emotional stuff that people talk about, it's not worth talking about. So that's why I show you guys numbers, and that's my point of view in these things. I always appreciate you guys watching and hope you understand this. And I get frustrated with the way the state of communication and everything is in USA, and I do understand the average person more than you know. I'll give you a simple example. When I first came back to the USA, this would be, I've been in and out of the country for quite a bit, but back in 2020, I stayed in Airbnb temporarily for like about a month while I was looking for a place. And the person I stayed with had a kid, and the kid was just getting out of the Navy. And this was the kids getting out of the Navy. This was this person's plan to be rich. Their plan was to get married so they would get Navy benefits as a married person, but then immediately divorce because they didn't love said person. And that's your average viewer on YouTube. That's your average person. They're always looking for like these weird shortcut things to sort of game the system. And it's not a great recipe for success. And frankly, it's just stupid. But again, that's your average person. And I know I sound a little bit mean in these things, but I just want you to know that I do understand how average people think. I get it more than you know. And I know most people who watch my videos have no idea what the heck I'm talking about. And that's why they watch other channels that just promise you to get rich quick. And they say simple things and they put their name on all kinds of stuff, right? Because some people go for that thing. They think, oh my God, this person's name's on everything, therefore they must be rich. Or this person's selling me a course on how to get rich for $10,000. Oh my God, he's so awesome. And it's sad, frankly, right? It's sad. It's the same way that the person getting out of the Navy wants to get married to take advantage of Navy benefits and try to game the system and then get divorced right away. It's just frankly stupid. But that's your average person. And again, I hate to be mean, but sometimes you have to be, because I want to illustrate that I completely understand what people are going through thinking and what people do. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you all in the next video.